In this video, I'm going to show you how to program a Rollease motor with the Rollease remote. To start the pairing process, you want to make sure your remote is on the channel you're going to use, and you want to make sure that the light is not blinking. Once you have a steady number on your remote, you're ready to program. Hold the button down until the motor jogs one time, and then hold the stop button, which is the line in the center, down until the motor jogs twice. After pairing your Rollease remote to your motor, you can reinstall the motor and shade in the window, and now you have to check for roll direction. You see when I hit down, the shade goes up. Well, to change the roll direction, you hit down and up at the same time, hold it until it jogs. After it jogs, your roll direction should change. If it didn't change, just go ahead and repeat that. Now that we've got our roll direction, we'll set our top limit. And you want to make sure that you have some fabric out, because if it's already sitting up here and you go to roll up, it could flip all the way around, and it could be pretty annoying to, say, a homeowner. We typically keep 1 inch of the hem bar exposed. Once you've got your top 1 inch exposed of hem bar, hit up and stop at the same time until you get a jog. And then to set the down limit, go ahead and roll it all the way down. And I do like to roll the shade all the way down until I have exposed aluminum tube. Now that I have exposed tube, I know that I'll get my natural fabric roll. I'll go ahead and roll it all the way back up. To set the bottom limit, you hold down and stop at the same time. Now the limits are set for this shade. So if I hit up, it should go to the up position. And when I hit middle button, stop, down button, bottom position. On the left side of the Rollease remote, there is a bunch of graduated lines. That is, if you wanted to go to 50%, you would drag from top to 50%. And you'll see here, this is how many lines it's going to come down. After setting the limits on your shade, if you feel like for some reason you need to reset one of the limits, just go to the limit you want to reset. If it's the top, we'll do the same thing. It's up and stop until it jogs. And now you're back in program mode, so you can put the shade back where you want it, and then up and stop again to lock it in. And then for the lower limit, the exact same sequence, only down and stop. Now that we've set our limits, I'm going to go ahead and change the channel for the end user. First thing we're going to do is pair it to a different channel. So make sure you're on the channel that moves the shade. And then on the back, once you remove the cover, you'll see 2 buttons. The P2 button is your program button. Go ahead and hit it once, hit it twice, and then go to the channel that you want to program it to. In this case, it's going to be channel 1. Back to the P2 button. That last 2 jogs, now your shade will be controlled by another channel. You can also use this to pair it to a different remote as well. Making sure we're on the channel that controls the shade. Once we're there, we're going to turn the remote over. P2 once, twice, and then on our new remote, same button, P2. Now we've paired this remote to work this shade. Now that we've paired our shade to the channel we want it to, we have the ability to take all of the channels off that we're not going to use so that the end user doesn't get hung up on a channel that's not in use. So simply hit channel and stop at the same time. You'll have 15 flashing. Leaving one finger on the channel button, you're going to move your other finger to the number of channels that you want exposed, and then back to the stop button. Once the lines on the side move, now you'll no longer have access of multiple channels. It'll just be the channels that you want. And 0 will always do every shade in that room. Now that the shade is fully programmed, we're going to lock it for the end user. To lock out the end user completely from programming, you'll just flip it over and hold down the lock button, and you'll see on the screen a U. Once that U turns into an L, they'll no longer be able to program this shade. Locking out the end user on a single channel remote is exactly the same, but you'll see there's no display. So we'll hold down the lock button until the blue light goes static. Now that that's happened, this remote is locked out for the end user from programming. After all the programming is done with your Rollease remote, if you want further programmability, which there is a ton of things that these remotes are capable of, just head over to the Rollease.com or refer to the piece of paper that comes with the remote. It gives you several different tips and tricks on how to do all of the things that we just went over.